Places, Sheltering Places. Sheltering Places is a program designed to enlighten and address viewers and issues affecting building construction and property development, as well as assets management in our dear state, Osun, Nigeria at large, and a lot more from the building industry. Join Babari Oluwatobi on OSBC Television Channel 113 on Star Times and 502 on Free TV every Friday, 11:30 a.m. to 12 noon. It promises to be captivating and educating. Join us.
The one coming from that jingle, we are welcoming you to the first edition of the program Sheltering Places on this new year 2025. And what do we do on this program? This is a program that addresses issues that has to do with building construction, property development, and every issues that has to do with building in the building industry, in the built industry. Because we call it built industry, we have a lot of professionals that are involved. Yes, it's on that note I'm welcoming you on board to the program Sheltering Places. Yes, I know in the past we have discussed a lot of issues and we continue to discuss those issues that can make a building to stand the test of time in our society. We have seen a lot of, mishaps, a lot of things that are not going well with building. And at the end of the day, we saw building collapse and a lot of issues that we saw around. And this is one of the reasons why this program was designed to enlighten our viewers, to educate ourselves on those nitty-gritty, those things that are very key and salient that we need to know as far as building is concerned in our society. Yes, it's on that note we still want to go on today's edition of the program, the first in year 2025. Yes, we want to discuss foundation. We want to look at foundation. Foundation as a topic is our focus of discussion on today. And in doing justice to the topic of our discussion, I have with me in the studio here Builder Olasukomi Bashir. He is the treasurer, Nigerian Institute of Building, Osun State, Nigeria. Sir, you are welcome on the program.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Yes, also it's a pleasure to have you too. Yes, and also my guest also is lecturer from Polytechnic, Federal Polytechnic EdTech, also in the building department. He's the one that we're doing it together in today's edition of the program. Sir, now coming to you, let's start on this note. Building, and a lot of people will say building, but a lot of things are, what is building? Sir, can we say, how do you define building?
Well, good morning, our friends in the house. When we talk of building, as you said, as a setting, is the kind of place where it serves as an abode for the human being, the animal, and their properties and their needs.
A place of abode.
Abode for human being, animal, their properties and their needs. Because there are some needs that you will not term as properties. Like animal, now, what are the properties? It's need of. But there are some things that are need of the animals. If you have a shed now, you are keeping the meat, the food of animal. That shed is a building on its own.
Shelter.
Shelter is a shelter itself as shelter. So when we talk of building, building is what is covering the human being. It's serve as shelter for animals, the properties and the need of this two set of people.
Okay, thank you, sir. Now to the topic of the day, foundation. Yes. So in setting up a building, there's a need for us to get it right at the foundational level. And even one portion of the scripture in the Bible, the other side of the sentence said that when the foundation is faulty, there is nothing the righteous can do. So that tells us the importance and the significance of foundation. So you as a builder, a professional in the field, let's look at foundation. What is foundation?
Foundation is the basement.
Okay.
It's the basement that transfers all the load on any structure into the hard surface of the ground.
The basement.
The beginning, that's when we talk of the foundation, we are going to talk of the basis that transfer all the load. All the load that is coming from the structure, especially building. When we talk of the roof, we talk of the wall, which form the superstructure. We talk of the floor. So all the load that is coming from this building and the occupants of the building. The base that transfer the load to the ground is what we call foundation. So the base that transfer the load to the ground is what we call the foundation, and is the key area of the structure. Is the major part of the structure that will determine suitability and sustainability of the other part of the building. It is the foundation that will determine the suitability, the sustainability, and the strength of the other part of the building. That is why what you quoted earlier on, immediately the foundation is faulty, there's nothing anybody can do. Because all the load is on the foundation.
Thank you. All the load is on the foundation. Yes, we can also see it from that video. Okay, now let's look at the essence. Like I was asking, what is the essence of foundation? What is the essence of foundation? You have rightly passed it, but I want us to look deep into it as a professional, as a lecturer.
Yes.
What is the essence of foundation?
The essence of foundation is this: one, bearing the load; two, transfer the load, and adequate distribution of the load. You see, these are three things.
Okay.
You should be able to bear the load, to sustain it. Two is that to transfer the load to the soil that is beneath it. And then adequate transmission of the load. Something may bear the load sometimes, but the load will not distribute it. It may not distribute adequately. That is why in building we used to call something pointed load. When you have a foundation like this, and all the load is being pointed at a point, there is possibility for that foundation to settle. There is possibility for that building to settle. We call it settlement. But when there is adequate distribution of the load, that's when you see the foundation, you see the foundation wall. You now see the concrete that is under it that is so widened. The essence of the wideness of the concrete you see below is that as the load is being coming, the load will transfer along the wideness of that foundation, so that the load will not be at a point that can cause settlement, that can cause settlement on that wall. So foundation needs to serve the purpose, bearing the load, transferring the entire load of the structure to the soil beneath it, as in the adequate distribution of the load.
Okay, adequate distribution of the load. Okay, let me pause there and ask this question. Most often than not, we see that when we have building collapse, it baffles you as an individual, as a person, but you as a professional in the built industry, as a builder, when you see building collapse, how do you feel? How do you feel, and what do you think are the factors responsible in line with this topic, foundation?
There are a lot of factors that are responsible for collapse of building in our environment. One is the lack of using adequate professionals and rightful professionals. Because when you talk of building, there are different professionals that will work on it. Like as a builder, the builder has their whole role. And the role is to organize and lead and coordinate the building construction. The other people that will work on building, it is the role of the builder to coordinate it. But what the builder is going to be placed on the ground, which we call plan, it is the role of the architect to do that. There are some structural parts in building, like the column, like the beam. It is the right of the civil engineer, structural engineer, to do that. But once the clients, the owner of this building, refuse to use the rightful professionals for each job, it may lead into building collapse. That is why when you look at a lot of building that has collapsed today, you see that it will be very difficult for you to see a professional that will be there. It will be very difficult. Because professional will be very cautious. One, it will be very cautious of the certificates. It will be very cautious of the integrity. Because if a builder involved in the structure and the collapse, the effect will not fall in on him alone. It will fall on the entirety of the profession. So that is why each of the professionals has their own organization, and they have their own control bodies.
Monitoring
them. So that is the
monitor.
Like in building, we have Nigeria Institute of Building, that's the organization. Then we have Council of Registered Builders of Nigeria. This is the regulatory body that is satisfied that this person is being satisfied to be certified as a registered builder, to be involving in the construction and managing of a building. So if registered builder to manage the construction of the structure, and the structure fail, you will not say a builder has a fund in it. If the owner of the building fail, to use a certified and registered structural engineer to design the kind of steel, the kind of reinforcement they need to use, and there is problem in the building, you will see that nobody will be blamed. It is the owner of the building that will be blamed.
Okay.
Then don't late before we go.
Okay.
Government also has some rights.
Okay.
There are some areas where government are also contributing to a building collapse.
Okay, let's see.
For example, each of our local government, each of the ministries supposed to have at least all the professionals in their area. Like there should be a builder in the government, there should be a registered engineer. So if they want to go on site visitation, these people will be there to monitor that are they doing the right thing at the right place. But if you now say a town planner should be doing all the job, so town planner cannot know the work of the builder because that is so specialization. So that area the government also need to look at it.
Okay.
And finally on that, we have what we call building code in Nigeria.
Building code.
These are the regulations that guide the procedure, the method of construction of every structure.
Okay, thank you, Builder Bashir. I know the government is trying, and I am confident that we'll have some of these people you said. We'll have them, but we might not have them enough.
Yes.
It's a platform, and they have act. Because I know that they are trying to put everything right. Now, moving away from that, we are talking foundation.
Yes.
Let's look at the relationship between the soil and the foundation. Because sometimes ago, I have some civil engineers on this program, and we were discussing, I made mention of that is every structure that you can, okay, for example, I'm Mr. Ena, and my friend is Mr. B, and my friend just came to my house. He said he loved the structure he saw on my own building, on my own site. Oh, I want to replicate the same structure on my own land. Meanwhile, the soil structure, whatever might not be the same. Is there any, so let's look at it. What is the relationship?
There is a lot of links and
foundation,
yes. And the soil. Yes. You see, when we are talking the essence of foundation, and the people say it transfers the load to the beneath soil. It means all the load that's foundation transfer will be on the soil. So it is a very germane thing for us to know the strength of the soil. We call it the bearing capacity of the soil.
Bearing capacity
of the soil that want to place the foundation and the other load on. So, and there is another field of engineering that is dealing with this. So before any construction, we should be able to invite those people to come and conduct the soil test.
Soil test.
Soil test. So that they be able, before the architect, the civil engineer will put on their plan, they should know the strength of the what? Of the soil, the bearing capacity. So that the load that is coming, they will be able to know that with the soil be able to bear it without any sharing. Without any sharing, without any settlement. Because if there are heavy load on soil, soil can shear. That's why when you see on road, you see some part of the soil that move to the left and right, that is shear. So the same thing can happen in building. When there is foundation on a weak soil, the soil can shear. That's why we have different type of foundations.
Okay, let's look at
yes, not all the common one that you see around is normal strip foundation. So we have strip, and when we talk of strip, we have different type of strip. We have wide strip foundation, we have deep strip, depending on the type of the soil. We have wide strip, we have a deep strip foundation. Then we have raft foundation. We have pile foundation. Each of these has the location where it can be used. In a claim land, the land that you claim from the river, where you now fill it back, you should know that the soil will not be settled adequately. So you don't need to use ordinary strip foundation there. It's either you use raft or you use pipe that will be able to transfer the load to the hard part of the soil. You can see, but a layman will not know this. The soil is soil.
Okay.
If sometimes some people will see gravel on the soil, this soil is very good. Whereby the ground may be a porous soil. It may be a very porous soil that water will be penetrating. And water is, when there is an area where water is penetrating beneath the foundation, it will be washing away some particles under the foundation. And when some particles will be washing away, the foundation will settle. Because there are craters of space there. So that is why I am hammering that professionalism is very, very essential. You cannot just sit there and say, okay, because this is how my forefather has been dating. This is how no. Because the structure we are constructing today is not the type that our forefather constructed.
Probably a lot of people thought, or let me say, that is what a lot of people usually say when they want to engage and start building. They say getting the services of these professionals we talk about. Most of them are not on the high side, probably exorbitant or very but at the same time, it's not enough reasons. It's never enough reasons to want to see your building collapse, like we said, property, life, and a lot of things that are.
Yes, you see, can we use money to buy life?
You cannot.
So that is why I used to tell my students that be a builder, don't be a killer.
You be a builder, not a killer.
Someone that is not fearing that because the project will connect some amount from me, so you can just go on and go. When the hazard occur, it will affect the life. It will cause the property, and the same time it will degrade the environment. Because for a long time you will not be able to use that area again. Okay. So that is why it's essential.
I want our viewers, the program, it's sheltering places. And on today's edition of the program Sheltering Places, we are discussing and we are looking at that topic that says foundation. And on foundation, as we are discussing, we have been said a lot of things that it is not all structure, it is not all soil that can contain or receive all structure. Different soil for different type of structure or need, depending on the outcome of the result of the soil test already conducted. So that is what my guest has been able to tell us. It's enlightening us, letting know that this is not all building that I have on my own, that you can also replicate the same on your own structure, depending on the result and the advice of the professional. If your soil for inquiries for any other thing you want to know as regard this program, please don't hesitate to get to us on 006505 2932 006505 2932 is the number to get to us. You can get to us or through SMS or WhatsApp, and you can strike a deal to ensure we get this program on for every necessary unit. Build out about that.
Well, you said something now.
Okay.
I need to clear. That's different soil for different structure. No. The same structure can be on different soil, but with different foundation. With different foundation. The foundation you use in a loamy soil, it will be different from what you use in a clay soil. It will be different from it you use on hard rock. It will be different from a clay land.
Okay.
Are you getting me? But the same structure can come, but with different foundation for you to be able to transfer the load.
Okay, thank you. Now, while we are talking about soil test, do you have the laboratory that you've not heard of that? You talk about at least a test will be carried out in the place. So do you have it all around us?
Yes, it's because people doesn't use it. Most of our institutions, where they are running civil, where they are chemical department, they have all this machine. Even the state government has it. Okay. Which people can consult them, but it is the professional that know the proper area to consult. It is not for an individual. It's not for an individual. It's a professional that will do that. Then we should not be circumvent. I just need plan. If an architect tell you that, you want the plan, where is your soil test? What concerns you? Draw something for me. You see, we are trying to salvage something which can cause problems in every job. And at the same time, the material selection is very essential. And that is part of the role of a builder on site. There are three things that are very essential on site.
Okay.
One, material selection.
For the foundation.
For the foundation. The kind of material you are going to use for the foundation. Okay. Two, the mix ratio. The mix ratio. And three is the construction process. The construction process. One, the type of material. Where you are supposed to use 22 mm granite, you should not use 38 mm granite. Then we are supposed to use ratio 1:4 mix. Mixing. So you should not use ratio 1:36. Then at the same time, where the manual mixing will not be suitable, we need to be mechanical. You don't resort into manual, you use mechanical. But most of our artisans today, they will prefer using mechanical.
Okay, at this point, let me ask. Do you have a cordial relationship? What is the synergy? Do you have a relationship or synergy? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't professionals on this side, artisans on this side, and you have a lot, even among you professionals, you know, because we call it built industry, you have a lot of professionals, like you said. You have, what is the relationship, the synergy, and this artisan?
Yes,
to ensure you have those foundation and building that can stand the test of time.
There is synergy, but the synergy will come from the owner of the building.
Okay.
Or the contractor. Because if a structure is not put on place and you give the job to a professional to handle for you, is the one that will source for the artisans. As a builder that's supposed to be on site, is one that will source for the bricklayer, for the carpenter, for the welder. All those ones is one that will source for the, so they'll be able to listen to him. But when the owner of the business say, I have a Baba Kinika, which is a bricklayer, and the bricklayer is seeing that he doesn't need to get information from the professional. He needs information from the owner of the building. You are destroying the structure. You are destroying the structure. Are you getting it now? So, that because the professional know the links between all these artisans' work, each of the artisans will stand on their own that I'm a bricklayer, I'm a carpenter, I'm a this. Even sometimes, professional helps you to sell your time. We have some job we call it start to start. That by the time the digging of foundation is going on, the molding of block can be in progress. Simultaneously. So when the molding of block is going on, there are some areas that we can use assembly. Okay, let the frame of the window, let this be going on. All those things, it is a professional that will be able to put it in place. That will see to that coordinations of the site. And that is why we call it as a manager. It's going to manage the construction. So this one will bring in the synergy among all the artisans that will work on site. At the same time, the professionals, there are synergies. The architect will be coming to site to be able to see is what the builders is doing is according to his drawing. If there is where there is discrepancy, they'll be able to explain that let's do it like this, and there will be a written agreement on it. If there is something that the builders on the drawing of the structural engineer, you'll be able to call him and they look at it. That's what we call it. There used to be site meeting of all the professionals. Okay,
because time is not on our side. But before we round it up, sometimes you are talking about, because the topic today is foundation, yes. And you talk about types of foundation. You mentioned one. After that one, you mentioned sub. You said you are kidding.
There are many. I mentioned up to 4.
Okay, you explain one. Let's talk more on one or two.
So I talk of steel foundation. Okay. I mention of raft foundation.
Okay.
I mention of pile foundation. Are you getting it? Okay. And each of these are different types. We have village foundation. And I said all these, there are areas where we can't use it, like pile foundation for now. Pile foundation can be any structure that's up to 15 stories upward. In our area, it requires pile. Because the load need to be transferred to the rocky part of the soil. To the rocky part of the soil. And the type of rock needs to be known too. Is it the rock that is able to bear that load? Because if you are talking of 15 story, 25 story, be adding the load in each of the floor. And the kind of human being, the material you accommodate, all will be added together to know the load that is coming. So you cannot put that on ordinary steel foundation of 2 by 2 to 5. You cannot put it there. Are you getting it now? So that is it. In a claim land, you need a very large basement. You have part foundation. That is why when you see column, you see that under the column, there will be a foundation that will be wider under it. They call the column base. It's a kind of part. And this part, there are different types of parts. And 2 columns can be on the long part foundation like that. Then we have strip. All these type of foundation, they were there to be able to use in a suitable, for suitable loading and suitable area.
Okay, suitable loading and suitable area. Our time is gone. Your word of admonition to our viewers, because this program was designed to educate ourselves, yes. And I want to believe somebody watching us somewhere will pick 1 or 2 things from what we discussed as regards as having a very quality and very good foundation on our buildings and things like that, in form of admonition, your advice to the viewers in 1 minute.
To avoid building collapse, to avoid wastage of resources, to avoid that kind of environment, build right by using the right professional on the right structure.
Right professional on the right structure for your foundation. That is the word coming from my guest. I want to really appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
Olasukomi Bashir, for coming on to this edition of the program, Sheltering Places. Well, our viewers, I want to believe you have picked 1 or 2 things from what we said. If I'm very correct, why don't you make it a day with us? God's willing, same time next week when we have another topic to discuss on this program, Sheltering Places. I want to appreciate all members of my production crew and my executive producer, Adesoye Udeji. Until next week when we have another topic to discuss, I am Oluwatobi Babayini. Say, God bless you, Rigu.
Sheltering Places. Sheltering Places. Sheltering Places is a program designed to enlighten and address viewers and issues affecting building construction and property development, as well as assets management in our dear state, Osun, Nigeria at large, and a lot more from the building industry. Join Babari Oluwatobi on OSBC television channel 113 on Star Times and 502 on Free TV every Friday, 11:30 a.m. to 12 noon. It promises to be captivating and educating. Join us.
Kwamitin kula da daidaita harkokin tsarin kuɗi wato FSRCC tare da haɗin gwiwar hukumar daidaita watsa labarai ta ƙasa da gidan talabijin da rediyo wato NBC na mai ƙoƙarin yin gargaɗi ga mutane domin su ƙaurace wa 'yan damfara da ke damun al'umma wato IFOs wanda hakan hadari ne ga jama'a da kuma tsarin hada-hadar kuɗaɗen Najeriya. Ana mai shawartar gaba ɗaya mutane da su guji yin mu'amala da masu gudanar da harkokin kuɗaɗe marasa lasisi. Ku tabbatar da kun yi binciken matsayin lasisin waɗannan kamfanonin da tsare-tsarensu akan waɗannan